Namaste. Hello and welcome, everyone. This is going to be a different type of time mastery for marketing agency owners. We're going to meditate and focus on meditation and creating space and why that's really important as an entrepreneur. And if you've seen our previous videos, we really talked about time management foundations and kind of understanding what time management really is. Then we carved out time for you to work on your business. Then we optimized your morning routines and four-dimensional living, and it led towards nighttime routines, which was our release last week. Now this week, when we're looking at what time mastery really is, it's really about creating space and being present in the moment. So that way you can get the most out of the moment. And there are a lot of different ways of being able to accomplish this. And one of them is meditation. So really what we're trying to do when you hear this word kind of like creating space, what does that actually mean? It's creating space between a stimulus and a response. So a stimulus where, phone goes off or you get a notification like on a Slack message or anything that really is just some type of stimuli, right? And then the immediate response. And when you create space in between something that create, a stimulus and then the immediate response, you're able to choose. And when you have this conscious choice between the stimulus and response, you really have control over your life, right? And so there's a model, I think it actually came from Stephen Covey a long time ago, with seven effective habits of highly effective people, or whatever the Stephen Covey one is. But basically this model has been used by a whole bunch of people where there's a stimulus, something happens, and then there's space in between the response. And the freedom to choose, this is the choice. You either have kind of like a reactive response or you have a proactive response. Reactive is usually based around emotions, feelings, it's situational, and very inconsistent, And then you have proactive responses, which are based around values and choices. It's more strategic and more consistent. And so the space in between stimulus and response allows you to really focus on what matters to you. And the importance of shifting kind of from a reactive to a proactive response comes from the ability to consciously choose your life and business by design rather than by default. When you think about default, you're thinking about reaction. And you can hear it in people's ways that they use their words. They'll say, oh, I have to do this. Or, it's basically a whole bunch of things that are based around external forces that are making them do a certain thing. You don't necessarily want to do that. What you want to be able to do is design and choose what is best for you. And there are methods of being more conscious of your decisions. We talked about this in the previous modules on four-dimensional living, where we were focused on daily inputs and daily deposits into each category of your life. So that way you actually show up with a more consciousness, mindfulness, and so you can choose the direction of your life. And if you haven't watched that, you can click the link above. And really those methods kind of start to lean towards an understanding of you. The more that you understand you, the more that you understand how to manage you, to lead you. And by doing so, you're able to lead others towards your vision. And so there's a power of meditation and mindfulness. Now, mindfulness is the practice of being very present, like me right now in this moment. I am just talking with you, right? And just being in this moment, that is where mindfulness comes in, where you're not distracted and you're able to remove a lot of distractions. Our next week is going to be based around flow state, which we'll dive a little bit more into this. But meditation is another way of being able to get there. And meditation, a lot of times people get nervous about meditation, especially if they've been been exposed to like religion and different views on what meditation is. Meditation is not associated with a religion. It's not associated with anything other than the fact that they have found, scientists have found, and even religions have found, that just creating space in between stimulus and response through a couple different things, which I'm going to talk about in a second, the 4 types of meditation, allow you to just make better decisions as a human. And so meditation, is it going to be something that you meditate and all of a sudden it's the greatest thing ever and you have all these insights and you're like a superhuman? No. What it is a daily practice that allows you to really just understand yourself and really slow down in order for you to speed up. And, the majority of people that are successful in life have been able to consciously choose things. And so this is ultimately what you're going to be able to do through meditation. So how does this relate to being an entrepreneur and a marketing agency owner? Meditation just allows you to create space and make more proactive decisions because you're able to listen to yourself. And it also allows you to be more consistent in your decision making, which ultimately allows you to lead others, and people actually enjoy being led by somebody who's more consistent and principle-based as opposed to making decisions emotionally. So how do we get started? So there are 4 different types of meditation. I'm going to talk about all 4 of them, and then I'll go through each individual one, and then I'll give examples, and I might actually decide in the moment to meditate with you. So here we go. The 4 different types of meditation are a breathing meditation, there's a music meditation, a mantra meditation, and a guided meditation. Now, a breathing meditation is basically the kind of like your default one. So if you're going to meditate and you're going to start off, meditation based around breathing basically makes it to where all you're doing is you're focusing in on each breath. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And you just do that over and over and over again for a period of time. I mean, you might start off with 5 minutes. Just take your phone, set a timer. Make sure it's not like some really abrupt timer where it's like super loud. Just make sure like maybe a vibration or something like that. And just take time and focus on each breath. And what will happen is you gotta get into this meditation for a while, and sometimes you'll go deep into a meditation. Other times your brain just kind of going all over the place. And you're just going to, without any judgment from the mind, you're just going to softly direct your thoughts back towards the breath, right? And so you're breathing, and then all of a sudden you think about something like, oh, I got to send that email, or I got to do whatever. And then you just slowly bring it back to the breath. And the thing that's happening is that you're allowing yourself to listen to yourself. A lot of times we are so focused on stimuli and running from one thing to another thing and another meeting and so forth. And the key is just to be able to softly shift the thoughts back towards the breath. And when you become a lot more aware of your breath, it's just a natural way of doing it. Also with breathing, you can focus on your heartbeat. And if you can feel your heartbeat, you know that you're listening. And that breathing, you might start off with 5 minutes, and then you go to 10 minutes, you go to 20 minutes. And what you're trying to do is just kind of create that space, right, in between your stimulus and response. So you probably want to turn off your phone, from do not disturb or something like that, just to make sure that you're in the moment. But breathing meditation is basically your default, something to start off with. Now, similar to breathing meditations, and you're going to notice the similarity between each one of the meditations where you're just softly shifting your thoughts back towards your breath without any blame or frustration about what the thought is or ruminants. And before I go into that, actually, this is a good analogy that I was taught when I started this about 15 years ago, which was that thoughts come into your brain. They're not only based around you. Like, other people have similar thoughts. There's kind of a collective kind of awareness going on. And the key is to think about your thoughts kind of like you're at a bus stop and the bus comes to pick you up, and it's a thought, right? You can either jump on the bus and ride that thought or ride that bus for a while, or you can just let the bus go. And the key is to understand that thoughts are going to come and go, but whether or not you carry it with, jump on the bus and continue it is basically your choice. And what you want to be able to do is just allow the buses to go. And that way, it's not as though you want to have no mind, which is ultimately one of the myths that they have with meditation. You basically just want to be, right? So that's breathing. Meditation for music meditation is basically just listening to an instrumental. You don't want to have anything with lyrics. And have that instrumental music with intention and allow the music to move you. And so instead of focusing solely on breath, now you're like immersing all that consciousness and intention into music. So one of the tracks that I've used before is this Devi prayer, Sacred Names for Mother Divine. What this does, and hopefully you can listen to here. And if you keep on listening to the song, one thing that's nice about something that is either in a different language or something that you don't understand, or it's a mantra, like someone actually doing mantras, which is the next one. What it allows you to do is just allow yourself to focus on it without having the thoughts that carry you. What ultimately happens is if you're listening to something that has lyrics or a storyline, you get caught up in the storyline if you're focusing on it. So the music just allows you to kind of let go of everything that has happened before, so you can just focus solely on the music. It's another way of meditating. Now, the third one is called mantra meditation. And this is focusing on repeating the mantra, whatever that is. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. And softly shift your thoughts back towards repeating the mantra. So you might start off, there's Sanskrit. This comes from, I believe, India, where Sanskrit uses things like Satnam and a whole bunch of different types of really ancient sayings that mean certain things. It might be like life and peace and, being able to really just has like these kind of like power words, right? And so there are different ways of doing mantras where it's based around kind of like these ancient passed down words in Sanskrit that mean certain things. Or you can really just create your own. It might be different values or principles that you have, or you could even use words of affirmation, so things that really kind of empower you, and just saying that over and over and over again. Things like power, empathy, integrity, respect. So you can use different kind of power words, or you could do one of the most ancient words, just Om. Om. Or you could mix them around, so you could say power, Om, empathy, Om, integrity, Om. You can do a lot of different things. The mantra meditation is really good if you choose what the word is, or if you allow someone like a guide. We're going to get into guided meditation in a second, but guided meditation a lot of times will do some type of like theme that you listen to in the way beginning, kind of setting the frame for the meditation, and then moves into a mantra that you repeat kind of with that frame. So, but mantra meditations, you can really just base it off of anything that really just empowers you from a really deep level. And ultimately, this leads towards guided meditation. So guided meditation is probably what you've experienced if you ever go to a meditation retreat or you're doing yoga and they meditate beforehand, or you listen to a guided meditation. Some of the ones that I've done over the years is just Deepak Chopra and Oprah. They do these kind of like Become What You Believe. That's one. Manifesting True Success. I listen to that a lot. But there's a lot of different kind of meditations, and you can probably find them on a bunch on YouTube, just guided meditation and then whatever you're trying to accomplish with it. But guided meditation, it really is just focusing on and following the guidance of somebody walking you through the meditation. You'll find that they're most likely a combination of the top three with a guided meditation, because ultimately it all comes from these 4 types of meditation. So going forward, think about how you can really just start to allow meditation to be a part of your daily practice. And I always meditate. I like to meditate usually after I work out. So I'm going from like a high intensity thing into the mind, and that's a good way of kind of keeping my body and my mind really active. Some people like to meditate for a short period of time before sales calls or before really important meetings. Like I meditated right before one of the mastermind meetings that we had last week. And what it does is just it kind of allows you to be more present, and you're not worried about the past or the future. You're just in the moment. And see how you can implement these types of meditation. Which ones do you currently like? Which ones are you using? Which ones are new? Maybe music meditation was brand new for you. And it would be awesome to kind of hear if you have any guided meditations that are really good, put them in the comments below. I would love to get me into more of a variety with these kind of things. So, but hopefully you got a lot of this, and I look forward to seeing you in the next week's video, which will be based around flow state and deep work. Ultimately kind of combining a lot of these different topics that we've been going over with time mastery. So thank you so much.